casting dreams until the dawn, leveling up and the world to follow. With painted heroes shining bright, venturing onward in the endless night. Where the brawn meets the brush, the story's told in the storm of imagination mode. With every stroke, the factors unfold, these are lost our soul. Where the brawn meets the brush, the story's told in the storm of imagination mode. With every stroke, the fate to fight for, face of ourselves, our soul.
Okay, so it's doing this silly thing where it's freezing the picture. I apologise, people. Do bear with me whilst we sort this technical problem. We should be resuming normal service within 2 seconds. There we go. Huzzah, we're back. Yes! It is Friday. How you guys doing? I hope you are all well. Well, my computer wasn't well all of a sudden. It's decided to just go all crazy on me this evening. It deleted all of my previous settings, which was rather frustrating. So I had this mad rush before setting up to actually try and get my PC working. And, well, it's actually a MacBook, but we will ignore the idiosyncrasies of the naming convention. How are we? Are we well? My chat doesn't seem to be working, so if you're online and watching, drop into the chat for me and just say hello. Because right now I can't see anything. Ah, Elias, I can see you now. I've just reloaded it. So just drop some chat in there. Let me know that you're there, because currently... Oh, wow. Fireworks. Drop some chat in, please, guys. Just fill it up. Just say absolutely anything you like, because currently I don't know if it's working or not. So just drop a hello, hey, whatever into chat for me, and then we can get this show on the road. Oh, yeah. So, welcome back to Minis-N-Muscles, the place where the brawn meets... Oh, I don't have any paintbrushes out. The brush! The brawn meets the brush. We're there. How are you all this evening? It is Friday. We have made it to the end of the week. Thank the Lord. Oh, it's been a busy one, right? So we're finally here. Thank the Lord that we're here. And we are ready to have a geeky side quest on a Friday evening. Oh, that is on. So it was already on. I thought it was off. So... There we go. Stop messing around, Steve. Let's undo that and let's move that up there so it's out the way. Whoop. There we go. Oh, there we go. Aha. How are we? How are we? How are we? Can anyone drop a hello in the chat for me? Because I don't know if the chat's working. So apologies if you're filling the chat up and I just seem to be ignoring you. It's not. It's just that my chat isn't working. I don't think it is anyway. So, hello. Welcome. How has your geeky week been? Welcome to Minis-N-Muscles. If you don't know what we do here on Minis-N-Muscles, every week we paint miniatures. Oh, Elias is coming in with a sunglasses smiley face emoji. Thank you, Elias. Appreciate that, mate. It's good to have you back. You've been sort of in and out and dipping in and out, so I'm loving that you're back last week and this week. This is super cool to have you back online, so thank you, mate. Appreciate it. And it also means that my chat is working, at least to some extent. But yes, if you don't know about Minis-N-Muscles, we are the channel where we paint miniatures, such as miniatures like these little beauties. We paint miniatures like these from the world of D&D and Warhammer and whatnot. I do have a Gundam model, actually, that I've got over there. I've got a second-hand one, so that looks pretty cool that we'll do. We paint miniatures, and we talk about sort of tips and tricks as we're painting about miniatures. And then what we do is we just talk in general about absolutely anything to do with the geek world. That could be retro gaming. If you like Super Nintendo or the original Nintendo Entertainment System or the Sega Master System, if you're a dirty Sega player, I was Nintendo. If you're a Sega player, we talk about retro gaming. We talk about Dungeons and Dragons, so TTRPGs in general. But Dungeons and Dragons is the most popular, right? So we do talk about that. We talk about D&D. We talk about Warhammer. We talk about Pokemon. We talk about comics, whatever you want. And today, our general chat, because we have 3 parts to the show. We have our general chat, we have our muscle moment, and we have our hobby horror. And today for our general chat, that can be absolutely anything you want. So it is a free-for-all today. Anything goes in the chat today, so we'll just talk about absolutely anything. It could be geeky, it might not be geeky. We'll talk about cars or motorbikes or something. But we can talk about anything you want in the chat today. It's absolutely open to anything, as long as it's PG friendly and it's not vulgar, etc., or rude or any of that sort of mean stuff. Don't do that here. But we'll talk about absolutely anything in our general chat, and that will sort of flow throughout the course of the stream today from 7 till 9 UK time. And then we've got our muscle moment. And today in our muscle moment, I've forgotten what we was going to talk about. Hydration. That's what we're going to talk about. And that was kind of inspired by my hydration feelings today, actually. So we're going to talk about hydration and training performance. And then lastly, for our hobby horror moment, we're going to talk about the Lost Order. All right, the Lost Order. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight in our hobby horror. And generally in our hobby horror, if you don't know, that's a part where something in my hobbying life, or perhaps your hobbying life, goes absolutely wrong, and we just chat about it and have a bit of a laugh. So that's our 3 parts to Minis and Muscles. So welcome one, welcome all. Hopefully you're all well. Elias, how are you, my friend? You put in a lovely, smiley, happy face there, but how are you, sir? Are you well? Are you keeping okay? That's what I would like to know from you. And anyone else that's joining, I would love to know how you are. So today we are going to continue to paint our wonderful Sisters of Battle model, the Triumph of St. Catherine. This is the model so far and what she looks like. If I can bring it over here like this. There we go. So we've got this... Oh, she's just fallen off. She's not glued in place. We've got this wonderful sarcophagus. We've got 2 sisters on there on a beautifully done base. So that's what we've got so far. That's where we are. We've got 4 more. We've actually got this sister to finish, the one that just fell off, this little lady. We've got her to finish, and then we've got a few other sisters as well to paint. So we've got a little bit of work to do. So we've got these 4 sisters. In fact, let's switch over our camera so you can see our top-down view. Oh, there we go. So we've got these 4 sisters to go. Oh, why is that bloody frozen? Sorry, guys, bear with me. I don't know why this is frozen, but that is not the view at all. See, if I'm waving my hand, the camera's up here, so you should be able to see something. So I'm just going to have to reset that. Everything today seems to be going terribly wrong. Right, there we go. Now you can see. Alrighty, so we've got 4 Sisters of Battle models that need to go on to that model base. So they're the 4 that we need to finish painting, or actually start painting, should I say. And this is the model so far. From a top-down view, you've got this lovely sister here with throwing out some roses. Actually, we need to do the flames on the candles on her, actually, so we haven't done that yet. And we've got this sister here to do as well. So she needs a little bit more skin tone applied because that's not right. Hair doesn't look too bad, but that could do another coat. And there's a few other little details, like things like this little relic that's on her arm. But we've done things like these little studs on her, the back of her cloak. So they're all done. The actual pack is done as well. So she's pretty much done. She's doing well. There's a few little details. I've done all this sort of detail on the chest as well. But there's a few little things. So she's wearing like what looks to be like some sort of crown or something. That needs to be done. Face needs to be done. And this little relic on her arm needs to be done as well. So that's what we've got so far to do. On that one, we've got the flames on the candles on this to do. And then we can actually, well, we could glue those into position. I'm not going to just yet, but we could do. So they're both finished, which is really cool because that means we've only got 4 left to go. I'm actually really excited to finish this model because it's going to form part of a new army for my sister battle that I'm going to play with. So I'm very excited about that. But what else do we have coming up in the show? Well, let's just adjust this just so I'm not leaning right across the desk to show you the models. Today we do have, and let's switch back to our main view just so you can see me. We are going to open, oh, for Pete's sake, why is this doing this to me? I got a light. You got a light? What do you mean you got a light, dude? I'm not quite sure what that means. You smoking something? Hold on. Come on, reboot. There we go. Don't know why that keeps doing that. However, as part of what I've been doing last week and I'll do this week, so I'm going to open some more Pokemon cards too. So I've got a few more Pokemon cards packets to open. So I'm going to open these up during today's show, see if we can get some good hits on those. That would be nice if we can get some good ones. Can we smell some victory here? Yeah, I think we might get a good one. If we can get something nice out of those, that will be nice. But that is our general layout of the show today. So hopefully that sounds exciting. Fingers crossed. I hope that you're all ready to paint today. Hopefully you're joining me. If you are, make sure you've got some nice fresh clean water and you've got a nice clean wet palette to use. And let's get cracking. So yeah, so how has your week been, people? So let me know, drop it in the chat. I want to know how your week's been, what you've been up to. Have you done anything geeky whilst I mix up some paints? So for myself, I have done some geeky stuff this week. I played Warhammer yesterday, actually, as part of my week's summary. In fact, I played Warhammer twice since the last stream. I played at the weekend, got beat, took my sisters a battle, and I faced off against Imperial Knights. That was a terrible outing. Got absolutely routed. And then last night I played again with my sister battle. Oh no, I didn't play my sister battle against Imperial Knights. I played with my Space Marines. Took my Ultramarines and completely kitted out with the wrong weapons. Ended up facing Imperial Knights and got completely wiped because I didn't have the right weapon loadouts to kill anything. Which was rather frustrating. Then I played again last night with my sisters a battle this time. Which I've been more successful with recently. However, last night was not a success. Played against Necrons and didn't seem to do much. I think I positioned myself really badly. B, actually, when I was trying to collect my secondary missions, I forgot my secondary missions and didn't collect any points, so I screwed myself over. And thirdly, oh crikey, what did I do? I did something else really stupid. I had a unit that was in strategic reserves, and that strategic reserve unit I completely forgot, and it was a really powerful unit, and I didn't even play it. I didn't even get it on the board because I completely forgot about them. So that was not a good time for me this week playing Warhammer. However, although you say it's not a good time, right, where you don't always win. And Warhammer, I found, is not always about winning. I guess nothing is technically, but what I quite like about Warhammer is the learning experience. So you can learn so much from a game or two of Warhammer. And I find that more important than actually winning half the time, because it's made me go back, look at my list, and think, right, how can I adapt this? How can I change this to work properly? So it's actually been a bit of a blessing. So I'm going back to sort of revising my list, reworking it, and just seeing what I can do to change it. Oh my God, it keeps on doing this. Guys, I'm really sorry. I don't know what the heck is going on with this darn video right now. But for some reason it keeps on cutting out and it's so frustrating. It just keeps freezing. Basically, OBS, which I run my stream through, has had an update, and the update's not very good, I don't think. Like, if you look at the picture of me in the top right, I'm frozen, which is ridiculous. I'll have to do that in a second. I'll unfreeze myself. But it keeps on doing that, which is so annoying. Let's see if I can unfreeze myself very quickly. Am I unfrozen? There we go. I think I'm unfrozen. Yeah, I'm unfrozen. Oh, and now it's frozen the main picture. What the effing Jeff is going on? This is ridiculous. Come on. What is it doing? Right, okay, so it's now doing it. It's now doing what it should do. Gosh, what a piece of poop. I mean, well, OBS is not a piece of poop. OBS is a very good piece of software, and it's free. So you can't diss it too much, right? But sometimes when they do these updates, they never quite get it right, and you end up with all these sort of little glitches, which can be rather frustrating. So what I'm doing right now on this lovely sister is just applying a little bit more of the white, or the Corax grey actually, to her hair, just to give it a bit of a thicker look, rather than being sort of opaque and you can see through it, so you can see the sort of the dark grey of the black coming through. I've actually just put another layer on, and I think that will suffice. I normally drop some shade contrast paint across these symbols on the shoulder pads, and I'll probably do that again just to bring out the detail, so they don't have to be perfect, but let's try. Anyway, aloha, Adrian's in the house. How are you, sir? Not seen you in ages. Where have you been hiding, Adrian? Come on, fess up. What have you been up to? Where have you been hiding? Why have you not been on the channel? All right. Last week, I quoted your name a couple of times because there was things that I'd forgotten. And usually you're there, Adrian, to pick me up and say, actually, Steve, it's XYZ. So I had nobody correcting me. And it was rather frustrating because I rely on you, Adrian, to be my autocorrect when I forget words. I think it was Aquila that I'd forgotten the word of last week, and Purity Seal was the other thing I forgot. And I knew that you would know, but you weren't here to tell me. So I was rather disappointed, Adrian. You can't miss another stream ever again because, quite frankly, you are now my form of admin where you correct my errors. So you have to stay now, Adrian, unfortunately. Sorry about that, bro. Oh, I forgot our music. There we go. Can't go without music, can we? So how's your week been, guys? I hope it's all well. We are, as I said, carrying on with our Sisters of Battle St. Catherine, or Triumph for St. Catherine model, which is a super cool model. It's a bit like a diorama, but it's beautiful. It's got loads of different models on it. They all look freaking awesome, and I'm very excited to use it in my army. So this is going to be a super day when this is finished. I'm very much looking forward to it. But yeah, hopefully you guys are all well. This one will actually be done quite quick. Remember, our general chat today is absolutely anything. Anything goes is today's general chat topic. It can be geeky, prefer to keep it geeky, but if you want to talk about cars, or if you want to talk about whatever, drop it in the chat and let's just chat. Adrian's been binging series 1 to 10 of Benidorm. How very dare you, Adrian? Oh, getting in the shot of the camera. How very dare you? All right, I'm wagging the finger, Adrian. This is not acceptable. Benidorm is not a replacement for Minis-N-Muscles, and should never be a replacement for Minis-N-Muscles. Quite frankly, you're now banned from watching Benidorm forever. Okay? So that just happened, Adrian. You've been told off for good. So you're not allowed to watch Benidorm ever again, unfortunately. Especially not 10 series. And surely you need a bit of a break from Benidorm so you can come and watch the channel and be part of the crew. Ooh, I think I might have run out of Retributor Gold, which is not so good. There's only some really sort of thick gold left on the side. Going to have to mix up a bit of water with it. Don't normally have to mix up your metallics, but this is just where I'm getting to the end of the pot, and I'm being a bit of a jippo, and I've not bought any extra paint. I'm being a bit tight, so naughty me. Right, here we go. So we've got this little detail down here to do. So let's get that painted. Should be gold. So there we are. Bit of gold on her. Bit of gold never hurt anybody. So Adrian has been binge watching Benidorm series 1 to 10. What's everyone else been up to? Elias, what have you been doing, bro? Be good to hear what you've been up to. And if anyone else is in the chat, tell me what you've been up to, especially over the past week. I haven't played any D&D this week. My D&D group, unfortunately, has stopped for the year, which is good because you get a little break, but I do miss it. I do miss the good bit of banter with my D&D group. So that's a bit sad, but it's okay. It shall be back. Just like the Terminator, so will the D&D group. That'll be back in the new year. So it's mainly Warhammer for me at the moment. I did play a little bit of online gaming in the past week. So I have played with my cousin Gav, or as he pops up on here, his name is Pell. I've been playing with him on Fortnite, but kind of bored of Fortnite at the moment. It doesn't really float my boat. So I'm trying to find us a new game. And I've been making some suggestions to him. So if you guys have got any suggestions on new games, let me know, because I would love to hear what you guys are playing. I do play a bit of Warcraft, so I've got my druid up to, I think, level 35 now. Was 34 last week, 35 now. So that's cool. And I'm trying to help a buddy in the guild get their druid leveled up as well. So I helped them the other day. That was nice. Because when you get... Well, I could just not help them at all, but the idea here is that if they have the same level as me, we can quest together on the same sort of standard quest so we can get better XP. And if you're not got someone that's the same level as you in Warcraft, sometimes it gets a bit... it's like a big old solo grind on some of the stuff, and you really do need help. So it's well within my interest to get my buddy up in the levels so that they can join me as well, or I can join them on stuff as well. So it's needed. But that is what I've been doing this past week. Oh, and collecting Pokemon as well. So I've got some new penny sleeves, so I can start sleeving up some of my new cards that I've got, which is needed because I want to actually complete the Mega Evolutions Pokemon set. So that would be cool. What's going on in chat? I posted on Army Painter's Facebook page and found out that whilst they prefer a white undercoat for speed paints, you can use light grey. Yeah, you can. Well, actually, I wouldn't say just light grey. You can use colours like Wraithbone. You can use that as a undercoat. That's actually quite a good alternative. I used that on my orcs actually, which was quite cool. It gave them like the green skin a little bit more depth and a bit darker, so I quite liked that. You're saying which is good as undercoat with Halford's grey spape. Oh, Adrian, come on! You got to be careful with those. Do you know why? Right. So I learnt this myself with doing lacquer. Now, things like Halford's spray paints actually have a different, it's something like the number of pigments. So when you spray it, it has a different effect on these small miniatures than it would on a large surface area. So you'll probably find you'll get the same with what you're using. You're going to have a different effect, so just be careful. Adrian's asking Elias how the snow is. Hopefully the snow is not too cold for Elias. Or actually, he might not have snow where he is. Depends on where he is. I don't know where he is in Denmark, but he might not have snow. But we certainly don't have snow here. All we've got is rain and wind. Certainly a lot of wind at the moment here, and I don't mean from my backside, but I mean there's a lot of wind that is just creeping in general in the weather around here in the UK. So it's not so appealing to go outside, but I did go for a run today, so that was nice. There we go. Elias saying, I don't have snow yet. Ah, see? So no snow yet for Elias. But I assume, Elias, you will have snow coming at some point. Well, hopefully. Well, I don't know, actually. You might not like snow, so you might be a bit like me. I'm not really a snow person. Don't really like it. Find it annoying. I think the UK doesn't deal with snow particularly well, so that kind of puts me off snow. I don't even have, like, some people really have the urge to go like snowboarding or something, or, you know, skiing. I have never had any sort of desire to do any of that myself, so just not a thing, not a sport for me, I don't think, the snow. What else we got here? So we've got so far a fair amount of this sister done. I think it's about that crown thing that she's got on. I might have to check the box art, you know, because there's like a little crown on the top of her head in her hairline, and I'm just not sure what that looks like. Oh, okay, so that is a gold crown that she's got on, or a tiara or something. Okay, all right, I know what that is, so we can paint that. That's good. Might need my geek glasses, actually. Where are the geek glasses? Where are they? There we go. Got the geek glasses. You really like snow? Oh, no. Sorry, Elias, that you don't have it then. Yeah, I'm not a massive snow person myself. I mean, it was fun when I was a kid. You know, going out in the snow. That was cool. But it kind of lost its appeal past that point for me. So it's a bit difficult, this little bit, because the print, actually, which is surprising for Games Workshop, either that or I've put too much white on for the hair. The print is not particularly detailed on this part, so, and I mean, it could well be that my layers weren't thin enough and I've covered up some of the detail, which happens, right? And we're not going to worry about it if that is the case. We will just continue. There's a tiny little bit in there. I've just painted over a bit of the hair, but we'll cover that back up in a sec. Just because there's a tiny little bit in between, like a bit of hair that's coming down. So that's alright, we got that done. So what else is going on? I found my Micron pen, which is good for script. Ah, yeah, I've got one as well. I did have one somewhere. Ah, here it is. So I sometimes use these. These are quite good for doing script. They're fairly small tips. So if you need a pen for doing script, there you go. There's what I use, and they're okay. They're not amazing, but they're okay. If you find it's very difficult to use a paintbrush, which sometimes it is, right? Sometimes it is a little bit tricky using a paintbrush for detail like that. So don't feel bad if you have to use a paintbrush. Sorry, one of those pens. Not a problem at all. It's just quite an easy way to be able to get some more detail onto the model without, you know, busting a gut, so to speak. Well, she does have these little white, these little sort of, what they're called, fleur-de-lises on her knee pad area. So I might as well do those quick. But again, because they're so small, they're not a particularly great print, so you could leave these out because they don't look amazing when you do print them. Paint them. Oh. That one will need tidying, but not too bad. Oh, and she's got a little bit of like a anklet thing around her ankle as well. That'll go in silver, so that's fine. We can do a bit of lead belcher for that one. There we go. Get a little bit of silver into the wet palette. Oh. So come on in, guys. What geek topics do we want to talk about tonight? I've just been rattling on about absolutely everything and anything. But is there something geeky that you'd love to talk about that we either have not spoken about on the show, or perhaps we have and you just want to talk about it again? Drop it in the chat. Let me know, so we can all join in a little bit of a geek chat with your specific topic. Because today is a free-for-all in terms of geeky topics and what we talk about. So if there's anything on your mind, drop it in the chat. We will talk about it. Not a problem at all. So I just want absolutely anything. I want everyone to have the opportunity to chat about stuff. Whatever it is that they want to chat about. Hey, look, even if it's not that geeky and you still want to chat about it, absolutely happy to do so. So stick it in the chat. Let's get the chat alive. There we go. Oh, shit. Dropping my models and swearing. That's never good. Okay, I just need to tidy that up a little bit where I just went over. But you can see now she's got this little sort of thing around her ankle, which is quite cool. Yeah. So what else is new? Let's talk about WWE for me, because you regular viewers will know that I quite like WWE. So if you're not going to suggest a topic, I will start with WWE. My favourite wrestler, one of my favourite wrestlers, John Cena, has just retired. Had just had his last match, and that was quite cool. I did get a little, not emotional, but I got a bit sort of full of respect for him, because he sort of the way he bowed out of his last match, he actually did something he's never done before. His motto is never give up. And he actually tapped out. Someone got him in his opponent, Gunther, got him in a chokehold and made him tap out. And he's never done that in his whole career. And he's been around for like 20 odd years, 25 years or something like that. And he's never done it before. And he did do it in his last match, which was a bit sad. And loads of people were really shocked. And, you know, some of the fans were sort of booing and stuff. But I kind of get why he did it. You know, it's his last match ever. He wanted to say goodbye to the crowd, but he also wanted to pass on a legacy to those that are going to continue in the wrestling business, right? And you could see that in his face when he tapped out. And if anyone's not seen it, just Google it and you get it on YouTube. His face, you could sort of see he was like, yeah, now's the time, I'm ready. I've done what I needed to do. And it was quite sad actually that he sort of tapped out, but quite poignant as well. So it was a good match. So that was very, very cool. I enjoyed that, and I did order a little signed John Cena belt, so I've got those now. They got delivered in the week, so that's cool. So very excited about those. And they look super smart, and I just wanted something signed by John Cena because he's obviously left. And I went to the Money in the Bank event earlier this year. I think I did mention it on the stream. And I went earlier this year with both my cousins. We had a good old time out there in LA. That was quality. And we saw John Cena, so I thought, well, seeing as we saw him at this event, why not, get something from that event? So I got one of the little mini belts that's signed, mini Money in the Bank belt, signed by John Cena. So I thought that was super cool. So I'm well happy about that. So that happened this week, and that was pretty cool with the old WWE. Oh, God, sorry. Yeah, so I enjoyed that. That was pretty sweet. But I guess with that, who am I going to sort of support or follow? Well, my next guy that is still probably going to retire soon is Randy Orton. I think he's awesome. So I will be cheering on Randy Orton until he retires next. But it's quite crazy because all these wrestlers that, well, most of the ones that I grew up with are dead. And then you've got the ones that I was a young man with, like your John Cena's, and he's sort of on his way out, and Randy Orton's on his way out, and he was another one. But they're epic wrestlers. And if anyone's not watched wrestling for a while, or reluctant about watching wrestling, honestly, go and give it a watch. Yes, we know it's scripted. Before anyone jumps in the chat and goes, oh, it's fake, it's not fake, it's just scripted. So everything they do, they still hurt themselves. Crikey, at that Money in the Bank match when they were jumping off of the tables and ladders and chairs, oh my lord, they were jumping off like 25 feet or something. Or no, maybe not that quite high, maybe 15 feet. And they were just jumping straight onto the ring. And that's got to hurt, right? Gesundheit. Grandfather Nurgle be gone. Yes, Adrian. See, this is why you're here. So you're not allowed to just disappear and go and watch reruns of Benidorm. That's just an absolute sin. Oh, that didn't go too well. I wanted to try and give her lips a bit of a colour, but that's not come out right. It looks like she's got a bloody modern day lip job. Oh, I don't despise the individual that gets it, but I despise those girls that have, crazy, stupid lips that stick out everywhere. I really don't get it. But then again, they probably think, well, I despise people that sit here and paint Warhammer figures. So, each to their own, right? Each to their own. So now we've done the eyes. We just need to tidy it up. Sorry, I always go quiet when I'm doing the eyes because it's quite a mission to do eyes. So a little bit difficult, but we'll get there. We'll get there. So has anyone got any WWE chat to stick in the chat with me? Or do you want to talk about something else completely different? If you do, tell me what it is. Tonight, it is your choice in topic. So it's a bit of a free-for-all. And I may regret it later, but you can talk about whatever you want. If you want to talk about XYZ, let's talk about XYZ, all right? So I'm happy to talk about absolutely anything with you tonight. Preferably from the geeky world, but it doesn't have to be. It can be from, you know, car talk to motorbikes to whatever it is that you want to chat about. I will happily talk to you about it. You just got to stick it in the chat. Stick it in the chat. You see the chat right there? I can see you all online watching, right? Stick it in the chat. Say hello. Come on, don't be shy. You know, talk to us. Usually here at Minis-N-Muscles, the place where the brawn meets the brush, we just talk about geek. But tonight's your chance to talk about absolutely anything you want. So if you want to criticise my absolutely hideous lighting on the Mini right now, go ahead, criticise. It's not a problem. We can talk about that. So I do apologise for that, and it's not very good. I know. I wish it was better. I just need to get some, maybe for Christmas, I need to get some new lighting left and right, so it's going this way. And I will get that at some point. I will get that. However, you can talk about whatever you want today. So whatever you guys like, we can chat about it. Could be geeky, might not be geeky, might be something completely else. I was just talking about WWE and wrestling belts and buying those, because my favourite wrestlers retired in the past week. Or one of my favourite wrestlers anyway, modern day wrestlers. So yeah, drop in the chat and tell me. Tell me what you want. As we're here painting our Sisters of Battle Triumph for St. Catherine model. We're just sort of getting the shades onto, or the contrasts onto the model now. I'm not going to use a huge amount. It's just in places like these little beads, right? These little beads, you want them to look cylindrical, and when you just paint them one colour, they don't. However, if you get this contrast paint and slap the contrast paint across them, the contrast rolls into the crevices, and then you get that 3D look. So it looks like a ball rather than just a white line. It's the same as like this shoulder pad here. It's not got much on it. It doesn't need much. That's not what it's about. It's just got a little bit across it just so you can see that it's got lines and definition. We could probably do the same with her hair as well, to be honest. Let's see if we can get that working. Because the Sisters of Battle aren't going to have completely white hair. They're going to have a little bit of colour to it, or shading to it, should you say. So let's just do a little bit, go very minimal, just add it to the little crevices just to get that detail. So if you look at the back of her head there, you can now see where the contrast paint is just sitting in those contour lines. And it just makes the model look far better. And you can drop it into certain places, like here on the front, just where you can see a little bit of definition and sort of texture. Just drop the contrast paint in. It's awesome. It looks great, especially once it's dry. Just going to redo that because that didn't quite come out as what I wanted. Remember, less is more with this. Don't put it all... Well, you could put it all over your model. But it's not always great to put it all over your model. That's Nuln oil that I'm putting on there. That's this stuff. That's always good. I'm also going to use a little bit of this as well. Agras Earthshade. Paint a Sister of Battle Mini and talking about WWE Showman. Yeah, exactly. This is why we're Minis-N-Muscles, Adrian. Come on. Get with the script, bro. Plus, as well, it's anything goes today in the chat. So if you want to talk about anything, and that's Adrian or anybody else that's in the live chat, and I can see you all hanging out, which is lovely to have you here with me, just drop in the chat. Say hi. You don't have to choose a topic necessarily. I mean, you can if you want. You can choose a topic for us to all talk about. Or you can just say hello. Either would be lovely. So feel free to say hi if you wish. It'd be great to know who's online tonight. Because it's coming up Christmas, right? Ooh-wee. Not long till Christmas at all. A few days to go. Has anyone finished work for Christmas now? Is that you finished work for Christmas? I'll let you into a secret. I finished work today. I've got next week off and then back to work. So I actually finished work today, which was lovely. Worked a little bit later, so I was running a little bit late today on the show. So that's why I sent an apology in the chat for starting a little bit late. Because I just had to finish some stuff off before the end of Christmas. Before I ended my week for the Christmas holidays. Right, there we go. She's looking pretty cool. What are we saying in chat? Oh, painting, yes. I knew what you meant, dude. I knew what you meant. Don't worry. Right, there's that lady done. So she goes over there. I'm just going to bring this girly back into the fray. Because I want to put some Nuln Oil across the beads on the front there. I think I might have put some on, but can't particularly tell. So can you see the difference there on the two lines? So you've got one line with looks like shade on it on this side, and you can see where the balls are, and on the other side you can't see where the balls are as much, so it just gives it that extra little bit. So it's very cool to use contrast paints if you're painting a model that's got lots of recesses, that is. If it hasn't got a lot of recesses, then you're a little bit buggered, but if it's got recesses in what you're painting, it will look cool. The other thing we need to do on this girl is those candle tops as well. I think for speed I'm going to be very lazy and I'm just going to go orange to start with. I might revisit it and paint flames on, but they're so small and finicky. I'm just probably going to go with this orange, right? Because you still get the same vibe, you get what the sense of it is, and it doesn't take long to do. And here at Minis-N-Muscles, right, we're not here to teach you guys how to pro paint. This is about quick, easy techniques to get something looking half decent so you can get it on the battlefield. Now, yes, these flames on these candles don't look amazing, right? But they don't look bad, and that's the point. That really is the point. You know, Warhammer is awesome, and you want to be playing the game as well as painting the models. I mean, even people like me, and I love painting, you even end up getting like painting sort of burnout. And that's not good. You don't want painting burnout. You want to be able to paint and enjoy, and then play and enjoy as well. So let's just see. So what you're saying in the chat, Adrian's saying in the chat, does she fit on the diorama with the coffin and steps? Yes, she does, dude. So she actually fits in this little space here. So her 1 foot goes in there and she needs gluing on. And then you've got one there. So if I just slightly zoom out and I just bring this forward, there you go. So you can see where they sit. You've got the sarcophagus in the middle. You've got our little lady throwing the flower petals this way. And then you've got our sister at the front with the sword. And actually, whilst I'm just sat here, I'm just looking at that model there. And I feel this needs some contrast in, just to go in between the petals to make it look like they're separated rather than one big blob. So there we go. That's good. Yeah, and that is our model so far. We've got 4 sisters left. Let's just slide that out the way. Who should we paint next, guys? Stick it in the chat. Let me know whilst I take a sip of water. This one has that. There you go. She has that. Right, let's go for either top left, top right, or bottom left, bottom right. Okay. So there are minis. I'll see if I can get some better light on that just so that you can see. Doesn't look like I can. Ah, this is awful. I'm going to stand up 1 second and see if I can just adjust this lighting. See if I can get more light on here, but I don't seem to be able to, which is rather rubbish. Sorry guys, it's not particularly good. However, if I zoom in, look, there you go. Is that better? No, light from that angle is actually not good. So how... see if we can fiddle around with this whilst you guys have a little think. We've got these two models. We've got this one with like a little sensor thingy. You've got this lady holding a cup. So there you go, lady holding cup. You've got a lady with the sensor. It actually just hangs down there like that. Then you've got this lady with a cool staff. And then you've got this lady preaching from a book. So stick it in the chat which one you want. Let's just zoom back out again, just so you can see. They're the four we've got available to us. So if you want the lady with the cup, that's this one, top left. Top right is the lady with the sensor. Bottom left is the lady with staff. Bottom right is the lady with the book. Stick it in the chat, let me know. In fact, I could always put a poll up, couldn't I? Let's try. And, well, oh gosh, where's the poll gone? Add poll. Which sister next? Question mark. Cup. Sense. I think it's called a sensor. Cup, sensor, book, or staff. There we go. That's going. Oh, Adrian's saying top right. Okay. So if it's top right, sensor, you need to vote for sensor. Stick your vote in there, dude. Nice one. Whilst we're waiting on that, should we open some Pokemon cards? I did say we'd open some Pokemon cards tonight. Should we open a packet? Okay, so we're waiting for those votes to come in. Let's open some Pokemon packets. Mega Evolution set. Hard to get hold of cards, to be fair. Well, not hard as in impossible, but they sell out and then people, the scalpers, get hold of them and sell them for ridiculous rates. So not so easy to get at recommended retail price, is my point. But what we got here then? So we got Corpish, we have Tangela, Sandshrew, Little Leo, Shuckle, Lieutenant Surge is Bargain, Ninetales, oh that's a cool card, I like Ninetales, Risky Ruins as a holo, reverse holo, sorry, and Ninjask as a reverse holo, and then our holo is Yveltal. Nothing good in that packet, unfortunately. That was a bit rubbish, bit of a letdown. No good ones there. Let's open another pack just so we can wait to see if anyone else wants to vote. Oh, we had loads of people watching a minute ago and the viewers has gone down. I never understand if the viewership is right on here. We've got Drizzle, Scorbunny, Yungos, Rare Candy, Kadabra. Oh, I like that art. I like the background in that. Frostmoth. Oh, Lieutenant Surge's Bargain again. Then we have a reverse holo Yungos. Oh, we got an Ivysaur in the house. Yeah. That's nice. Illustrator art, nice. Like it. And then we've got Raikou, holo as a backup. Nice, that's pretty cool. I do have this card already, so that is going to go into my spares for trading. So, and that's quite a good value card as well. So that's cool. So let's put that one to one side. What else have we got over this side? Let's open another packet. Just while we can, guys. You know how it is. Clauncher, Tinkertink, Nickit, Miltank, Spiritomb, Mega Signal, Syllabi. Oh, we've got the Reverse Hollow Ninetales, Graveyard, and then Kyogre Hollow. Okay, not bad. Not bad, but not great. So we want some of these. We want EXs, and we want these Illustrator art cards. It'd be lovely to get a. Charizard. Charizard is one of the pull cards right now. Those son of bitches be frothing under all that heresy and mutation in those packs. Oh no, there's no heresy in Pokemon. I'm sure Sister to Battle play Pokemon as well. In fact, I know they do. Just as a pastime, we've got Reverse Hollow Solrock, Reverse Hollow Fearow. Oh, Mega Venusaur EX. Nice. Not a super valuable card, but a cool card nonetheless. So that's cool. Let's do one more pack. Let's do one more pack. And I think that will call it there and go back to painting. Here we are. I don't know if Joel is online this evening, but if he is, or if he's not, he's missed it again. He asked for the packs to be ripped live, which I did, and then he missed them. So Ninetales is coming up a lot. Vulpix Reverse, Tangela Reverse, Dialga Hollow. Oh, that was a bit of a disappointment, that one. Never mind. Righty, that's a couple of Pokemon cards. Sorry, packs pulled. All done. We can go back and do a few more later if we want to. Let's just place those out the way. Alright, so let's head back to this. Let's check our votes. Let's end the polls. We've got Sensor is the one. Alrighty, so let's place these girls to one side and let's get this chick ready to go. Let's zoom in. Alright. So this is our girl. This is what she looks like. Quite cool. Another cloaked sort of face. So what we need to do is get a little bit of skin colour inside, first of all. Inside that hood. Bit difficult to do, and we're going to go over the hood, no doubt. So we're going to have to tidy this up, but that's okay. Get that colour in first for the skin. Just so people can see once it's painted there is someone inside the hood. There we go. There we are. Alright, we need to, once that's dry, we need to then just touch up the edge of the hood. But her face is now painted. Just about. You can't quite see it actually on the camera, can you? Which is odd. So what should she look like, this girlie? Well, let's just bring this in. Whoop. And we're actually painting this lady right here. So this is the lady we're painting. That's what we need to do. So she's actually got a red cowl. So let's do that. She's actually got red on the inside of her robes. So we need a little bit of red. And for the red, I always use Mephiston Red for the cloaks. Unless it's a sister like this one, where she's got red on the outside and on the inside. Then on the inside, I usually use a darker red, like I use a corn red for that. But just so you get a sort of two-tone difference. But let's add some red into the wet palette. And then we can crack on. She moves the sensor to and from, wafting the incense about. Yes, with a sensor sweep. She does indeed. Although, the way this mini actually fixes is a tiny little bit of glue on there to hold her hand. I did glue it and it just snapped off. So I'll redo that once we've sort of painted the majority of it. We'll redo it and put it back on. But for now, we'll leave her be. Right, I just want to do the underside of this cloak because that needs to be black. Right, good. That's now redone, so we can now do the rest, which is red. So, my geeky friends, what else do we want to talk about? I've spoken about some WWE stuff because that happened all last week, where my boy John Cena's retired now. What other geeky topics do you want to talk about? Is there anything in particular? I mean, we can talk more about WWE if you want, or we can talk about retro gaming, we can talk about model painting, army building, D&D playing. Whatever you want, we can talk about it. I'm happy to do so. So you just need to tell me what you want to talk about. Because tonight it's free for all chat. That means you guys and girls get to decide what we talk about. So that could be absolutely anything. Feel free to ask whatever questions you like. And I shall answer them as best I can. There we go. So we've got our little girl with the sensor wafting the God Emperor's desired scent throughout the war zone wherever she is, inspiring the sisters amongst her to become righteous and follow the path of the God Emperor. Probably to waft away the filthy stench of heretics as well. So what else can we talk about tonight? Well, how about retro gaming? Since we've got no suggestions coming in. Retro gaming. So that's absolutely anything to do with computer consoles, PC gaming, whatever, from the past. So it doesn't have to be complete retro, what I would necessarily think of in the sense of the original Nintendo, that sort of era. It could be the PlayStation 1. Because that might well be retro for you, the PlayStation 1. So I don't mind talking about any gaming tonight. Has anyone been playing any games recently? I'm not sure if you have or you haven't, but it'd be cool to know if you have. Elias, are you painting Tyranids? Says Adrian. Yeah, the last time Elias was talking about painting, he was painting Tyranids. And his painting actually come on leaps and bounds. No pun intended for Tyranids, because they leap about. But his painting had really come on. So it's looking very good indeed. From our guy in Denmark doing his painting. Adrian, are you still using your speed paints? And if so, you need to share some pictures in the Discord so we can see how those speed paints are coming along. So far, I've not seen any pictures from you, sir. So you need to get those pictures into the Discord. If you're not aware, we do have a Discord channel here on Minis-N-Muscles. So if you want to join it, the link is in the information page on the YouTube channel. Easy enough to find. Jump on in, say hello, be friendly, and enjoy some geeky chat with some more geeky people. Yeah, even I'm struggling in this light, actually, to be fair. And it doesn't help. I didn't really notice how bad the light was in here until we've started hitting winter here in the UK. And the more winter hits here in the UK, we lose light really quickly. So actually it's become a bit of a pain in the bum. So I'm going to have to do some upgrades. Because I just can't work in this environment, people. I just can't do it, okay? You can't expect this of me. There was my diva moment for any of you. So if any of you could, talking of retro gaming, if any of you could pick one game of all time that would be your all-time favourite, what would it be and why? So retro game, what's your all-time favourite and why? Drop it in the chat and tell me what your favourite game is. Because I'd love to know. Adrian is saying, I'm hunting a suitable right arm to hold a large thunder hammer for my scratch build. Oh, cool. Nice. Love a thunder hammer. Gotta love a thunder hammer for a Space Marine. Adrian, have you seen the latest Iron Hands models and have you got them? Because some new Iron Hands models come out, right? So I just wondered whether you had purchased them. Or maybe that's what you're painting right now. Looks a bit ominous, this chick, actually, where it's just like the cow and you can't really see her face much. You can't even see with the light, actually. What else is red? I just need to check the box. Sorry, guys. Oh, it's actually her sleeves are red. She's got some red sleeves. So it's these parts here. I have to change that up to there. There we go. So my favourite all-time computer game. It's actually, that's not an easy question to necessarily answer, to be fair. So if you're sort of stuck trying to work out what your favourite all-time game is, it's a pretty tricky question, right? It's not an easy one. And for me, it's certainly not easy. There's a load of different games that I've played all over the years. But what is my favourite of all time? I think I would have to go with something like Mario Kart, but the original Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo, because it was groundbreaking at the time in terms of the sort of gameplay, and the graphics were pretty spot on for what it was. It was super or hard enough to be challenging, but also enjoyable enough to be fun. And you could go back and play that now, and it still feels pretty good, despite its age. So for me, it would be the original Mario Kart, I think. I don't know what you guys think on that, and whether you would choose the same as me. Maybe not. Maybe you guys wouldn't choose Mario Kart. Could be something completely different. However, that is my choice and rationale as to why, that's for sure. Because it is a pretty funky game, right? And God, trying to finish Rainbow Road on the final level. Oh my lord. You'd end up playing that for 5 minutes and you'd come off feeling like you'd been on a load of drugs for the past hour or whatever you've played the game. Absolutely insane, because of the colours and the graphics were pretty poor. So well, good for the time, but pretty poor in comparison to modern day. But it made you feel like absolutely spaced out after you played that. But bloody good laugh though. And the multiplayer on it, crikey, the multiplayer on original Mario Kart Battle Mode was hilarious. I loved Battle Mode. I think I played more Battle Mode with my mates than I played anything else. That was a great game. Absolutely great game. Yeah, so that's probably my fave of all time. You, Red, she must be an engineer. No, never. Never. How am I going to do this? There's a little tiny bit of her cloak that is open there that I just want to get. Might have to re-go over black, but that's fine. Got a little bit of red there. What else have we got? Oh, it's on the other side too. Okay. So this little bit here also red. There we go. A little bit of red in there. And that red is actually going to travel up this, what is it called? Like, it's not a jacket, but it's going to travel up here and through there too. There you go. So you've got the sort of 3D-ness of the red on the inside of the cloak there, which is quite cool. Right, the rest is black. We know that, so that's good. Oh, we're over halfway through the show. We need to stop for the muscle moment. Crikey. Didn't realise that. I've got so far ahead in the show I didn't even realise. Let's wash this paintbrush off first, because red is a bugger sometimes for just staining your brushes and getting stuck in your brushes. So if you need to wash your brushes at any point, I use this stuff. That's the stuff I use to wash my brushes. There you go. I don't know if there's a brand on there, but yeah, that's what it looks like anyway. Yeah, it doesn't say it's got a brand, but yeah, it's just a sort of paste that you put onto your brushes, leave it for a bit, leave it to soak, wash it off, and then I put another set onto your brushes and leave it overnight and then soak that off. Just because I find it, leaving it overnight just really helps with the bristles. Okay, front view, here we are! So we wouldn't be Minis and Muscles if we didn't talk about fitness for 5 minutes or so, because we are the place where the brawn meets the brush. We need to talk about fitness for one goddamn second. So all I wanted to talk about today was something really, really simple, but something that a lot of people get wrong or forget about. That's hydration. So I want to talk about 5 key points about hydration, shouldn't do's type thing. So number 1, that you may not know, hydration directly affects your strength. So if you've got because the body's 95% water and you've got no water inside the muscles, they can't operate correctly. So if you can't hydrate your muscles, they won't be efficient on operation. So if it means that you're trying to lift heavy, run fast, whatever it is, you're going to be operating at a performance loss. I remember seeing a chart many years ago that was like the colour of your wee and the effect on performance. And it doesn't take much of a wee colour to go darker. The darker it gets, obviously, the worse performance you are. So just bear in mind that not being hydrated means that you won't hit the PBs that you want to hit. You won't run as fast as you want to go or lift as much as you want. Make sure you're hydrated. The recovery of muscles is massively important on hydration. So not only through the performance, so you need to be hydrated before, you need to be hydrated after. So like when I finished my run today, I've had loads of water. I've even got a glass of water in front of me now, which I will finish by the end of this show. So hydration affects joint health. So it's not the only factor, so please don't get on the chat and go, oh, it's nothing to do with water, it's this, why? Yeah, I know there's other considerations, but water does affect the health of your joints. You know, think about it a bit like lubrication, a bit like oils that you need to put into your bodies for joint health. Water is the same as well. Mental focus in training and in life, right? If you are not hydrated very well, your mental focus and clarity is going to be off. So you just imagine your brain as a sponge. If it dries out, it goes all yucky. You must keep it hydrated, and so that your brain and cognitive function remains tip top, sorry. And then lastly, my last point on water is electrolytes matter. So this is the magnesium, sodium, salts, etc., that your body loses throughout the day naturally and through hard exercise. So not only do you need to remain hydrated with water, but you must make sure you also rehydrate with things like electrolytes. So there are special electrolyte type drinks, or you can go really old school and just take a pinch of salt and put it into a shot of water or something. But you're not going to get the other ingredients if you go old school and just take salt. An actual electrolyte drink will help you replace all of the aspects that your body has expunged whilst exercising. So hydrate, and hydrate. They're my 5 quick tips on hydration. As always, we like to do a little bit about fitness, but we don't do too much, right? Let's get back to the geekdom. Here's our battle sister. Actually, just going to try and see if I can just get my brush in here. Just to put another layer onto the face, actually. Just because it wasn't particularly... it didn't see the... Sometimes, when you've got thinned out paint, it doesn't always sit onto the model very well. So I was just trying to correct that. There you go. Get that done as well. Just going around the edges now where, I've made some slight overruns on my painting. It's just going around tidying up things as I see them, really. And it's always good to try and do these as much as you can throughout each stage. It just helps then keep the model looking smart, but you also know where you need to go back and fix if you need to go back and fix anything. Just makes it deadly obvious. Or dead obvious, rather. Not deadly obvious. I think it slightly went over there. Never mind. Just over the edge there where the sort of bled just slightly into the red. Not so good, but don't worry, we'll get by. So if you're not open to offering up your favourite video game of all time, maybe we should change the geek subject. Or if you want to talk about absolutely anything today, feel free to drop something in the chat. I'm happy to talk about absolutely anything with you guys tonight. So it's free reign. You can talk about whatever you like. It can be a geeky subject. It can be a non-so-geeky subject if you like. Not a problem. It can be about fitness. Whatever you guys want. Oh, just painting out of frame there. I do that quite often on this show, so apologies for anyone new here thinking, oh, this guy's painting out of frame. I forget what I'm doing half the time, and I then move my arm out of position. There we go. Right, that looks good. Corrections have been applied. What about Pokemon then? Anyone want to talk about Pokemon, seeing as we opened some Pokemon cards? I'm not sure if Joel is online watching this evening. He might still be at work because he's in the US. If you are, Joel, we've already opened some Pokemon cards, bro, but I did save a couple of packets just in case you missed the first lot. So jump in the chat if you have missed it or you want to see some more Pokemon cards. Happily do some more packets with you guys. There we go. Nice little bit of gold. What else? I'm just looking at the box art here just to see what else is on here. So this sort of candle or sort of well, I don't know what this is actually, but this thing anyway is gold. These are actually classed as relic weapons on the character sheets for each of these. I'm not so sure if you would use one of these to hit somebody or attack somebody, but you know, Warhammer's a crazy place in the grim dark future of the 41st millennia. Gosh, I wonder if it'll actually be anything like this. Imagine. To be fair, I can see it going that way. The way the bloody world is at the moment, crikey. I could see it going into a sort of Warhammer-esque style world. You know. That would be pretty mad, but I could, you know, I would not put it past the global elites to do that to us. Go. So hopefully you guys have all got something geeky to do this weekend. Me, myself, I was hoping I was going to be able to play Warhammer on Sunday, but I've actually got a family shindig, a party to go to, so I won't be able to attend Warhammer, which is gutting because I love a bit of Warhammer, and I also want to try some new things out with my Sisters of Battle. So obviously I ran them yesterday evening, didn't do too good, got a butt whooping, but it was a good butt whooping because it gave me a lot of information about what I was doing wrong, so I learnt quite a lot from that, and I love sort of learning new things about Warhammer, and because the rules are pretty in-depth, I always find it, well, me and my buddies always do, we find that we're learning something all the time. Like we learnt a new rule the other night, or no, I found out a new rule today about something that we were playing last night. So it's like, oh, I've just found out this. So it's always helpful to learn new stuff. It's quite interesting. But it does mean that I've sort of made some adjustments to my army, and with that, all those adjustments, I'd like to, or would have liked to, have played my army again this week, just to run it out and to test it to see how it performed. But I won't get a chance, so a little bit gutted about that. So I don't know if any of you are playing Warhammer this weekend, or if you're going to go do a bit of D&D or another TTRPG. Maybe you're playing something, a different tabletop role-playing game. Be cool to hear what you're playing. Drop it in the chat, let me know. different, this model, in the sense of... sorry, there's not a lot of difference in this model. That's what I was meant to say, sorry. There's not a lot going on this one. But I guess that's quite nice because it means that you can, you know, sort of speed up the painting and it doesn't take as long. So if every model was super detailed on this, it would take 10 years. Although you could put a lot more detail into than what I'm doing. You could do things like edge highlighting, for example. And I like edge highlighting. I think it looks really cool. So for those that don't know what edge highlighting is, it's where once you've painted the colour on the model, like the base colour of it. So for example, on this black, any sort of edges that are sticking out, like that little ridge there, you would go along that ridge and just with a lighter shade of the colour you've got underneath, so in this case black, a lighter shade of black, I would go along and then just give that edge a little line across it, and it looks really cool. You don't have to do edge highlighting on absolutely everything to make it look right, but it is a little technique that looks awesome. However, it's also time consuming. So again, it comes back to that trade-off between how much you're willing to, or how long of a time you've got to spend, or you're willing to spend on a model before you look at the cost of that time, right? So for me, I might go back actually and paint some edge highlights on the models later, but it's not always needed, because I'm not the fastest painter, because some people are really quick and able to do it super fast. I'm not really the fastest painter. I mean, I'm all right at painting, but not the quickest, and some people can sort of smash it out really quickly, but for me it's I can lose my sort of will to live when you've got so many things to paint and you're so desperate to play these items. Like, I can't wait for this Triumph for St. Catherine to be finished so I can use it on the battlefield. It's going to be really cool. So I also don't want to wait forever to actually be able to use it. So that's the kind of the main driver for me most of the time is, you know, I want to be able to use these models and enjoy them rather than sit there and do nothing. Circle on the back. Got another candle on the back actually we need to do. Got this chain as well on the sensor itself. Again, on things like chains, you don't have to be 100% accurate. Actually, you can be quite slapdash, and leaving bits of black actually makes it look more realistic anyway, which is quite nice because it just means that you can kind of hammer across the item pretty fast without too much worry. Which again just speeds up the whole process. That so this is like a different sort of goldy kind of metallic-y colour, the actual pot itself. So let's see what we've got here. Use this paint. So I hope everyone's having a good evening anyway. I hope everyone's ready for Christmas. Has anyone bought their friends any geeky gifts for Christmas at all? Stick it in the chat if you have. I bought a friend of mine, his kids are getting into D&D, and I bought them a starter set, which is really cool. So I bought them that. What else? I bought myself some Pokemon cards. That's about it though. And geeky gifts. I don't think I bought any other geeky gifts necessarily. Although I would if more people wanted them. Sometimes you're just not sure whether you should or not buy, you know, I always sort of question myself on gifts, whether, you know, when you're buying a gift for someone, should you buy what you like, or should you, you know, or what you don't want to buy just what you like. You want to buy something that you think they would like or they actually do like, rather than just you pushing your own geekiness onto them. I'll try not to do that too much. However, if they show interest in it, that's it. I'm all in. I'm aiding and abetting the geeky hobbies. Go. Yeah, not long. It's not going to be 2025 anymore. We're going to be into the new year, which is absolutely crazy. You know, even if I look at Minis and Muscles, we've been doing this 67 episodes now, which is crazy. That's a lot of episodes. And to be fair, I don't even know if I'll carry on doing it for the entirety of next year. I was hoping that we'd get a few more people subscribing to the channel and, you know, following the channel and stuff, but not really seen much uptake. So it sort of begs me to question whether sometimes I'm doing the right thing in terms of content, or it's just not good enough. So maybe next year we'll take a step back from Minis and Muscles and retire the grey vest, which I'm sure you'll all be very proud to see. The grey vest heading into retirement. At some point anyway. Crikey. Go, there's that. Alright, that's pretty good. Could probably paint the hand actually whilst we're there. There we are. Go, there's the hand done. Oh, there we go. So that will eventually be glued onto the top there like so. I need to do kind of grey underneath. Try this grey sear. This will probably be the right kind of grey. Yeah. It's got a kind of like bluey edge to this grey. Now, I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but it's sort of slightly different grey shade. Oh, thinking about streams and stuff. I will probably not be streaming next week because next week is obviously the week of Christmas, and all things family take priority. So Minis and Muscles will not be streaming next week. There'll be a 1 week break. So that means you can geek it up during the Christmas holidays without your boy giving you any grief. I think I'm using the wrong paintbrush here for this. Going over the edges. There we are. Go. Lovely. Might have to do another coat on that later, but that's alright. We've got the top of this model, there's this sort of rose type object, and that is actually white on this occasion, not red. There we go. I do say that a lot, don't I? There we go. We were both wrong on our spelling for the device. Sensor. Ah! Nice work, Adrian. Good find, mate. I didn't think I had it right. I knew I had mine wrong, but I couldn't remember how it was officially spelt. But now I'm seeing it and looking at what you've written, that looks completely right. See, this is why, Adrian, you can't go watching Benidorm. You're here as my, like, fact checker and, you know, you're the guy, my go-to guy. So as Gandalf said to the baddies, thou shalt not pass, thou shalt not watch Benidorm anymore. Now you've finished your 10-season binge fest. Right, okay, so there's those little candles done. Should probably have my geek glasses on for half of this, but trouble is you get, when you sort of paint and you're trying to do it quick, you end up getting a little bit lazy and you're like, oh no, I won't put the geek glasses on for this bit, I'll be alright. To be fair, we've done an alright job. It's not terrible. Lovely. What we got here? Blue. And we want another colour, let's go for green. And these little buttons on the back, I always sort of go with a bit of a bright colour just because it stands out. Just because it looks different. It doesn't look anything amazing, but just having a little tiny bright feel colour on the back is, I think, nice. I want a brown, I want a brown, that brown. Go. Little holster on the back done for a pistol. We're getting there slowly with these bits. I don't know what's in the centre of the sensor, as in this little thing here. I'm not really sure what. Oh, that's just all. Oh, okay, so that's all grey. Alright, I can certainly do that. Go. So sensor's done. That's quite cool. Glue that onto our good lady. Oh, only 10 minutes left of the show. Right, we need to get some white in here, don't we? Oh, might need to put on my geek glasses. Here we go. Elias is back in the house. Hey, Elias. So we were talking about you earlier. Have you been painting your Tyranids? So the last time we were sort of chatting and catching up, you were painting your Tyranids and you posted a few pictures into the Discord channel. Are you still painting your Tyranids? Or have you finished them now? Oh, so Elias is saying yes. I assume that is... Sorry, I'm losing my voice a bit here. I assume that is yes, you're still painting them. Which is cool. Oh gosh. Let's take a swig of water. That's better. Well, a little bit better anyway. Another little candle on the back that we need to do. Cannot remember. Oh, okay. And then the little ring on the back there is silver. Then I want this little blue. So on the back of the backpack here, I've got a sort of silver square, as you can see. Paint it silver, and then I'm going to put a blue, like bright blue wash over the top, just so you get that sort of metallic-y blue look. Oh, that's a bit too much. Ah! Oh dear, that's no good. Oh gosh darn it. You put too much contrast onto the area, it goes a little bit crazy. That's better. That's better. Just like a subtle blue, metallic-y blue colour. That is good. I've got that to do, and I painted that on the last one white. I'm not sure why I painted the bottom of that white, but we'll continue the theme. Go. So that is white, that is that, is that, is that. Goody, goody, goody. So we've not got a huge amount left, really, which is good. some really fine details on the robe itself. This is where it takes a little bit of concentration. So hopefully you guys and girls are all painting your minis as well this evening. If you are painting minis, let me know what you're painting. That would be cool to know. I think Adrian said he's doing a bit of kit bashing. Because Adrian loves some kit bashing. Just check what colour that is. Okay, so that is that colour. I've got a huge amount left on this model to paint. There is a few more details to paint, but there's not a huge amount. It's like the staff in the centre of this sort of snaky, viney kind of thing. It goes all the way down there like that. Well, that needs to be painted. So we're going to have to definitely do a second pass on this, because the sort of creamy off-white kind of colour that I've got here for the centre staff is a little bit thin. So it's going to need some extra work in terms of layering the paint on, which is fine. Can't always get that perfect consistency, so you may need to go back a couple of times to get it done. There is like a vine that sort of wraps around this as well, and in part I've painted over it purely because it's quite difficult to get to some of it, but also it's a greeny kind of colour, and I want to see when I go to put the green on, I don't want to have a dark base, I want to have a slightly lighter base, just so the green stands out better. Ooh, best remember my hobby horror. Do that in the end of the show, I think, as soon as we're almost there anyway. So I'll do that once I've finished the painting side, taken off my geek glasses, rested my eyeballs, and we're ready to wrap up the show. There's a few bits I'm going to have to go back here and fix. Nothing major, but just little bits. Again, another model that possibly could have done with this element of the model being painted prior to being assembled. Just so you could get the back of the pieces as well. I mean, there'd be areas that you can't necessarily see, but it's always nice to know you've got the whole model covered, rather than sort of chasing your tail. And when you have models like this, we've got like the body, and then you have the other parts sort of closely aligned to it. It's always helpful to paint in parts, so you could paint the actual main model, then you could stick this arm on. I mean, you may be like me and you get impatient and you're just like, no, I'm just going to stick the arm on anyway. And that's absolutely fine. It just means you won't be able to reach all of the back area of the model. So if you look right back there, you won't be able to get every single part of it. You mean you can still get your paintbrush down there, but you will start to paint over. For example, look how I've just gone down there now and I've painted over the gold there, look. So it just means you're going to have to go back and correct more things, which is absolutely fine. Can be done, it's just a bit of a pain in the bottom. However, that arm is now painted. The vine isn't painted that wraps around it, but that is painted, so that's good. And we should probably wrap it there, because that's the end of the show. And we also need to do our muscle moment, so let's just switch back here. Sorry, not our muscle moment, our hobby horror. And our hobby horror this moment is the case of the missing models. So, 4 months ago, I ordered some new models. Yes, I know I've got enough as it is, but I ordered some new models for a different army that I wanted to start to create. And ordered the models up. This is 4 months ago, right? So I ordered them and I thought, great, ordering in advance, absolutely fine. I'll get them soon, not a problem. 4 months later, still nothing in the post. Still nothing at all. I go and check the order and they're waiting on one item of the order before they post out all the other things. So there was like some pigment dust, there was some cork board, there was some other bits and bobs that I want to for these models, but they didn't have the cork board, so they stopped everything else. And I've been waiting for 4 months. I finally phoned them up. I was like, what the hell is going on with this order? Oh, well, we're just... we haven't got this one piece, so we haven't sent out the entirety of the order. That absolutely did my nut in. So I said, look, can you separate the order for me and send it out? But I thought, you know, good talking points on this for your hobby horror, so you don't have a hobby horror moment like I did, is check store reputation. Store reputation can really help, although this was a fairly reputable store. So always check store reputation. Don't be caught out by these scam stores. There's loads of them out there, so be very, very careful of scam stores. Confirm stock status. I did in this case confirm the stock status. They had it incorrectly displayed on the website. So make sure you confirm your stock status. Make sure any company that you're ordering from has got good email and good telephone contact details. If they don't, you'll never get hold of them, and there's so many scams on the internet, they'll probably just walk off with your money. Avoid too good to be true pricing. If it's too good to be true, it probably is. So, you know, just be careful of that. Understand your shipping times, so how long it takes to ship to you, especially if the supplier is in a different region. And know when to chase or when to cancel. So if the model pricing had changed for me, I probably would have cancelled. So if you do have a model, an order that's sort of sat there waiting, just check and see when they're due to arrive, and if it's not in the time frame you need it for, get rid of the order, order up new. All right. So that was my hobby horror moment for the week. The missing models that I've been waiting for months. But anyway, thank you to every single one of you that has been. Check the reviews of the suppliers. Yes, yeah, absolutely. That's what I mean by reputation, Adrian. So check the reviews to see if the company you're working with is decent or not. Hopefully they are. But aside from that, thank you every single one of you that has watched this evening. Big peace and love to you all, Have a fabulous Christmas. Have a geeky week. Remember, no minis and muscles next week, okay? No minis and muscles next week. I will not be streaming. But join us on the Discord. Say hello. Make sure you like this video as soon as it gets posted out, which will be directly after the live. Make sure you comment as well. Share the channel with your friends. Let's get more of us on, okay? Let's build this nation. Come on! Let's get a few more subscribers to Minis and Muscles, and let's get it shifting for 2026. Anyway, I will see you all very soon. Not next week, the week after, okay? Stay safe, stay geeky, have a wonderful Christmas, all right? Absolutely every single one of you. I'm sending the blessed day out to every single one. Have an awesome time, and I will speak to you all in 2 weeks, all right? Stay safe. Ta-ra for now. Goodbye.
Minis and muscles, we're heroes, right? The tiny world's too mighty skies. Rushing air, where power we fight. Strength that breaks you, light in the light. Where the brawn meets the brawn. The story stone in this land of imagination mode. With every stroke, adventures unfold. Minis and muscles, heart and soul. Guidance in hand and worlds to explore. Roll the future, hear the dice roar. Gaming realms of muscles drawn. Together in this place where we belong. Doting spells, casting dreams until the dawn. Leveling up and the world's in our own. With painted heroes shining bright. Venturing onward in the endless dark.